This is the book of Luke 21, verse 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray, always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers through the four corners of the earth, preaching His word and laboring in His word in truth, love, and sincerity. And also shalom to you sincere listeners. Okay, and I'm going to name the lesson of this title, Do Not Let the Cares of This Life, the cares of this world, be to your downfall, be to your demise. Okay? Because as you see many of times, over and over and over again, once you're in this truth for a while, okay, you see many guys, right, coming to the fold, and then they fall out behind the cares of this life or the cares of this world, whether it be that they ran into some money, or whether it be because of their woman, their family, job opportunities, a different status quo of this so-called life that we live. There's just many different things where it fits into this cares of this life and cares of this world, and ultimately, they have more love for this world or this life or the lifestyle that they are in or that they are trying to gain more than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? That's ultimately what it is, So let's read Luke 21, verse 34. Again, it says, And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering, right? And drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares, man. Okay? And, this happens a lot of times is when you're not focused, right? When you're not on your watch, and you're not circumspect, you tend to what? You tend to get caught up in things, Your focus is not on the Lord, right? Being a watchman, doing the work, Because what? You're attending to the different things of this life that you have to attend to, but there goes a balance with that, all right? Because some people get to the point where they get themselves so caught up and so busy, right? That it's to the point where they stop doing the work of the Lord, man, And it shouldn't be like that, because first and foremost, this truth comes first, all right? Teaching this word, teaching the sheep, or feeding the sheep, first and foremost, comes first, man. That's your first priority. Okay? Everything else comes second and third and fourth, However you prioritize your life, But the point is, in this lesson, you can't let these cares of this life or this so-called world that we live in today, be to your demise, man, And let's get this real fast. We're still in the book of Luke, right? Because Jake ultimately think they're gaining something in this so-called life, in this so-called world that we're living in, right? So let's get Luke 8. No, not this yet, but this is beautiful. Mark 8, verse 36. And it reads, For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul. So what is it going to profit you, man? All right? What is it going to profit you to gain this whole world and to lose your soul, man? It's not going to profit you a damn thing. Okay? Because everything in this world, everything that you see, the things that we do today, unless it's, being a charitable brother, doing a work of Yah Bashim Yahushua, doing your duties as a man of the Lord, and different other things consist within that depth, right? That depth. The rest of these things are vain, man. All this stuff is vain, man. All this stuff is folly. So let's read that again. Mark 8, verse 36, it said, "For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul?" And our people will do anything to sell their soul to gain the world, man. And they don't even gain that, man. They don't gain the world of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, which is ruling the earth right now. They give them little bits and pieces and scraps, and Jake feel like they got it, man. They feel like they made it. And just look at all these different celebrities and movie stars, right? The actors, the whole entertainment business and industry. Jake feel like, because they make $100 million, which is, a nice bit of money in this society. They feel like they made it, man. And then it comes out a year or two later, and you see Jake. They notice like they're still in oppression. They're still oppressed, man. The money didn't make them happy. It basically was all for naught. But they already sold their soul, so they can't turn back. And you Jakes, right? You so-called brothers that's coming into this truth. You should look at these different celebrities and entertainment stars to tell you these different stories, right? And all the madness that they have to do, and the things, that came with, selling their soul, man. Or worried about the cares of this life and the cares of this world, which hasn't got them nothing. Okay? Nothing. So for you to lead the truth, right, over the cares of this world, why? Because you wasn't circumspect, you wasn't being wise, you wasn't standing upon your watch, you wasn't counting the cost. You got swept up, man. By what? The cares of this life or of this world of Esau, Edom, which is complete vanity. Okay? So let's get the sower and the seed parable. Let's get Mark 4 verse 19. I'll start at 14. It says, Mark 4 verse 14. The sower soweth the word. The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside. Hold on, Slakia. Let me see. No, we're gonna have to start at 1. Mark 4 verse 1. And he began again to teach by the seaside, and there was gathered unto him a great multitude, so that he entered into a ship and sat in the sea, and the whole multitude was by the sea on the land. And he taught them many things by parables, and said unto them in his doctrine, Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow. Oh, Slakia. Drop my phone. It says, and it shall come to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. And the other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, and some 60, and some 100. Verse 9. And he said unto them, He that have ears to hear, let him hear. So he who has understanding, Let them understand. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable, and said unto them, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High. But unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables. See, so the rest of the people are not going to get this because I'm speaking to them in codes. I'm speaking unto them in riddles. But for you, you are given the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High, right? Verse 12, it says, that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted and their sins should be forgiven them. Verse 13, it says, and he said unto them, know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. All right? So these are the people that fell by the wayside. They hear the word, they come into the camps, they start listening, but then Satan cometh up, right? And then he taketh everything that we was breaking down to him, right? Or the things that they're listening, that they're hearing, and he immediately takes it, He takes everything that was sown in their hearts, Verse 16, it says, and these are they likewise which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately received it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth, for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And you got many brothers that get offended, at being persecuted or being afflicted by the Lord, for the word's sake, man. Different, like I've always mentioned, different brothers might lose their job, family members might see them on the highways and byways, things start to get hard for them, but what they're not understanding is, hey, what do the scriptures say? Let's get it. Let's get it. Book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Sirach, the second chapter, Sirach 2, verse 1, it says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, and set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble, man. So you can't be ready to just run off, when you're going through things, being afflicted or persecuted for the word, man. Don't make haste in the time of trouble. You're supposed to endure this thing. And what you had to understand is, prior to coming in this thing, you got to count the cost, and you got to know that you are going to get persecuted. You're going to get hated by the world. You're likely to lose your family. Most likely to lose your family. Your friends of the so-called world. Your job. Why? Because you're not teaching the status quo of the Bible how the world wants you to teach it. You're teaching the Bible of its truth, man. Through the Holy Spirit, on how it's supposed to be taught. So the people of this world are not going to accept the way you teach the Bible. The people of this world are not going to accept the way you change your life, according to the Bible. They're not going to accept it. And this is most cases. Now you got different brothers, they got different families out there, or people of their families, certain people that may deal with it, that you do what you do, But for most cases, our families, and friends, so-called friends of this world, man, of this life, they don't agree to this, And even for the ones that just, don't bother us about doing the work. They more than likely, a lot of them don't agree with this neither, man. They just don't give us static about it. So Mark 4 verse 16, it says, "And these are they likewise which are sown on the stony ground, who when they have heard the word immediately received it with gladness." They was glad to hear this word. It was joy to them. That the Bible was speaking of their people, man. Who they ignorantly call Jesus is a so-called black man. Who they call God, ignorantly call God, is a so-called black man. That the people of the Bible is your people. You know, all these different things. They glad to hear it. They glad to come out and take notes and hold signs. Ultimately they want to come and join the camp so they can teach the word, right? And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. And more than likely they say to the salesman, "Hey, I was cool, I was better off, doing things in the world, you know, minding my own business. But once I got into this truth, once I got to start teaching the Bible on the streets and doing lessons, right, showing my face, doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, then things got harder for me, man. Things got harder. And that's why, hey, the Lord got to be dealing with you. He got to put that bold lion spirit on you to do this thing, man. To come out there and stand bold as a lion amongst, these different beasts of the earth, man. And when I mean beasts, I'm speaking of people, man, because people, and Jake, have these, not just Jake, these heathens, they got these animalistic mentalities, man. So you got to stand bold as a lion out there dealing with amongst these people. Now, the scriptures also say, be as a sheep amongst wolves. Be humble, be lowly. But you can also have that boldness of a lion spirit on you, man. Right? To able to stand your ground. Okay, that's what I'm saying, man. All right. And this is all just a spiritual way of saying it, man. So don't take this out of proportion. All right. Hey, because the scripture says, "Be wise as serpents, right, and harmless as doves." Okay. So it said, verse 18, it says, "And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke," right? "Choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it, and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100-fold." So dealing with the 20th verse, this speaks for the ones that's enduring, pushing the work, right? Doing the work, pushing the word, and they start to, bring brothers in through the spirit, man. Part of the fruits from going out there and laboring and doing the work. But let's touch on this 19th verse, right? Because this goes with the lesson, as I stated, man. Verse 19, Mark 4, verse 19, it says, "And the cares," I'll start at 18 again, it says, "And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitful of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful," man. Because they look at it as the word is not profitable unto them in this time, man. In this world. It's not profitable to them, man. You're not gonna get many girls, right? Once these women of this world find out you on the highways and byways, talking about you can have multiple women. That these women are going to be in subjection to you. That the Lord said, or as Paul said, what the Bible says, that you women need to learn in silence. You need to carry yourselves in a modest manner. Quit talking back to your man. You are below him. We're not equal to you, right? You start to understand that these different desires that you have, that you want to do that's pleasurable to your flesh. A lot of these things are not permitted according to the Holy Bible, like, sleeping with other men's women. Okay, that's adultery, man. You're not allowed to do these type of things, you know? And there many different things of this world, man. You notice that you can't put your all into this life or into this world, man. But you got to put your all into doing this work, man. Pushing the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, doing your reasonable service, and not too busy focused on what you got to do in this God-forsaken world, man. This wicked kingdom which we were raised up in. So these different things, they choke on the word and they come unfruitful. And there's various different things I could say, behind the cares of this world, which make people choke, but you get the point. Y'all let the cares of this world overrun y'all life, man. To the point where you are gonna let the cares of this life, the cares of this world be your downfall. Because you think these things of this world is more important to you than doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's what you people ultimately think, man. I'm speaking you people that was once in the truth. Okay? Once in the truth that forsook the word behind the madness and the wickedness and the cares of this life, man. This ain't living. Luke, the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 14. Verse, I start at 11. It says, now now the parable is this. The seed is the word of the Most High. Those by the wayside are they which hear, then cometh the devil and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. They on the rock are they which when they hear receive the word with joy, and these have no root, which for a while believe, and in a time of temptation fall away. And they which fell among the thorns are they which when they have heard go forth and are choked with the cares of this cares and riches and pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. You see? So this is just, another count of Mark going into it, or Luke going into it as the same, as well as Mark, man. And I always ask people a lot of the times, do you love this world? Hey, and people, they be like, yeah, man, but you don't know you got enmity with the Most High, man. When you love this world, man. James 4 verse 4, ye adulterers and adulteress, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. Okay? And there's no getting around it. If you're a friend of this world, okay, if everything in this world, this lifestyle is acceptable to you, man, you're an enemy of the Most High, man. You're an enemy of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You're an enemy of the men of the Lord. Okay? Because you love and you're friends of the world and the things that's going on in this world, which we are not, man. You are an opposing force to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Even if you're not the one putting forth, the mass of the wicked energy out there, you're still a part of the problem, man. You're still a part of that body of wickedness, and you're adding on to it. Some way, somehow, with a form of your energy of being opposing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Let's get Romans 12, right? Romans 12, verse 1, it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. In a way of making your bodies a living sacrifice is going onto the highways and byways doing a word, man. Putting yourself out there on a front line, willing to be harmed by anyone. But we had faith in Yahweh Bashem Shah that he'll protect his men. But you got to be able to put your body on the front line, man. As a soldier of Yahweh Shai. Okay, make yourself a living sacrifice of in teaching His word. Okay, it says, "Wholly acceptable to the Most High, which is your reasonable service, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is the good Salakia, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High, man." So you're not supposed to be conformed to this world, man. You're not supposed to be conformed to this, man. You ain't supposed to be conformed to the cares of this life, man. This wicked world that we live in today. But what you need to be, man, you need to be transferred by the renewing of your mind. You need to get your mind cleansed, and your mind need to get out of this place, man, that you so-called believing that you think that's gonna do you any good. Especially when you wake up to this truth. Especially. I'm thinking of there's another scripture. Let's see. Not fit. Slakia. Not fit for the kingdom. And this just been on my spirit, man. So this video's kind of raw. I jotted a few scriptures down, but we just go get it this way. Here we go. Yep, Luke 9:62. All right, so we're going to get the book of Luke, chapter 9, verse 62. And it says, and Yahweh said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow, right, meaning doing his work, and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High, man. So you ones that put your hand and start laboring and doing this work, right? And then you looking back. What you looking back at, man? And Yahweh said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High, man. So you doing this work and you looking back, man. Ultimately you looking back and seeing the things that of what you used to do, or what you could still be doing. But hey, guys like that, man, you're not fit for the kingdom, man. You just, when you fall out this truth and you go back to doing what you was doing, man, you're a dog that returned to his vomit, man. You go back into the ways how you used to be, you're just a dog returning to the vomit. Second Peter 2 verse 20. Yep, it says, for if after they have escaped the pollute, let me see. I'll start at 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Yahweh Shah Mashiach, they are again entangled therein and overcome. The latter end is worse with them than the beginning. So now, they worse off than, they worst off. They in a worse state, after they leave the truth than what they already was, man. You know, their actions become worse, man. They become more wicked in things they do. After what they escape the pollutions of the world, man. He says, for it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. Hey, so the Lord said it's better for y'all. It was better for y'all to not even know the truth. That you should have just stayed in your lane doing whatever that the hell you thought was the right way, man. But that was just, and then this is all this is the Lord's movie, this is the Lord's program. I'm not arguing against that. But it's saying it was better for you just to be wicked, man, for you to get this precious knowledge, man. It says, but it has happened to them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the miry. So you just turn to all the bullshit, all the bullshit that you was doing in the world, all that mess, right? The throw up, that mess. After you had cleaned it up, you returned to it. You moved off from it, right? And then you didn't just turn to it again, man. And you see this happen a lot. It's sad to say, but it happens. And then you get to the point and you start to understand. After a while, after you see it time and time again, and you just notice, hey, this is the Lord's program, man. Maybe they could have just been a vessel to help wake someone else up and then leave off from the truth. Maybe it was just that their season and time period of being marked. Whether it's a marking for a mark in the Hebrew, which is thawal, to be marked from exempt for judgment, or a marked to be destroyed, man. Okay, so let's read this again. We can close out Luke 21 verse 34. It says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you in unawares. Yeah. And like I said, man, we know this goes for you 2/3, right? You just don't want to hearken, because y'all care about the things of this world and this life, but y'all wasn't given a chance to get this knowledge, man. Because y'all see and see not, and y'all hear, but y'all perceive not, But you Jakes, you Israelites that had a chance to come into this knowledge and return to doing your wickedness, or got choked up from the different things of this world. Hey, man, that's gonna be your shame, man. And guess what? Y'all are likened to them those 5 foolish virgins, man. Y'all are them 5 foolish virgins, man. That wasn't on a watch, wasn't on a standby, wasn't on a guard. Let's get that real fast. I believe we can close out with that. Foolish versions. Let's find this real fast. Here we go. Matthew 25, verse 1, it says, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom," right? And this bridegroom is Yahushai. It says, "And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there not be enough for us and you, but go rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves." And this oil, is also representing this truth, man. Right? It says, "And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut." You see? Why? Because they was ready, man. They was on upon their watch, They had the oil with them. And the foolish virgins, they're the ones that's walking around with no oil, playing games. And that's where they're going to be the ones taken in unawares, man. Because they worry about too much bullshit. You see? They ain't taking this thing serious. So it says, let's read verse 10 again. It says, "And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins," right? These are the foolish virgins, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered and said, "Verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh." You see? So that's why you gotta continue to watch, man. Hey, didn't we read that in Luke, right? Watch as well as pray. Let's get that again. Luke 21, verse 36. It says, "Watch ye therefore," Slackis, quoted it wrong. It says, watch ye therefore, and pray always." You see? So even dealing with these foolish virgins, what happened, right? The day came when the bridegroom came, and what? They didn't have no oils in their lamps. They wasn't ready. You see? They wasn't ready. And so that day come upon you unawares. And to them foolish virgins, when the bridegroom came upon what? They're unawares. Hey, but that's the point. Hey, don't let the cares of this world choke you up, man. Don't let the cares of this life be your downfall. The hell with this place, man. Now ultimately, hey, if that shit your lot not fall upon you, then that's that. But just the exhortation to you brothers, right? Hey, man, get out of the mindset of this